Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me again in this next section. So actually, APC group has come out to tell Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that's the president of Nigeria, to release Nnamdi Kanu for out from the DSS dungeon. So this is the first time we've been hearing something like this, that an APC man is coming out to say this, because other political parties are not even saying anything about it. The only people we've been hearing that are saying something about the release of Nnamdi Kanu is Ohanaeze and Igbo, especially it's actually coming from the southeast most especially. They have been ordering the release of Nnamdi Kanu. But this is the first time of us hearing that an APC member also wants the release of Nnamdi Kanu. This is to show you that people have known the right thing now. Nnamdi Kanu has opened everybody's eyes. So even many people are beginning to see what Nnamdi Kanu is doing for Nigeria. So everybody is now agitating for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. This is actually coming from an APC member. He was saying that Tinubu, the best advice he's going to give Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to release Nnamdi Kanu, because we've already have a lot of crisis going on in Nigeria, and them putting him in detention is just causing more problems. But if they release him, you find out that Nigeria is going to be better again. That is what this man said on national television, said that the best advice is going to give Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to release Nnamdi Kanu. I want you guys to just listen to what he have to say about the release of Nnamdi Kanu and what he told Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do in order to stop crisis in Nigeria. Guys, take a look at this and I'll be right back.
Mohammed Ndarani Mohammed, senior advocate of Nigeria. I'm also a grand patron, One Nation Asuaju Support Group of Nigeria. Let me start by saying my advice to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our dear President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Having watched what is happening in Nigeria in recent times, I felt the urge as a patriotic Nigerian to plead with the federal government to settle Nnamdi Kanu and other agitators matters out of court by setting up a formidable national committee of arbitration. In my opinion, the court may not be the solution of the above matter if lasting peace is to reign in the nation. Bringing this matter to the round table for intensive negotiation surely would engender the peace, harmony, and unity in diversity that we all have consistently craved. In a country with various distinct ethnicities like Nigeria, it is and ought to be an all-pervading preoccupation of everyone to seek ways of encouraging those things that will bring us closer together as a nation. This is even more so in the existing atmosphere where there is a mutual suspicions and widespread crisis of marginalization. Our dear President Bola Tinubu should therefore consider alternative dispute resolution mechanisms like arbitrations, cancellations, and mediation in some of these cases concerning our agitators in the country. ADR refer to any method of conflict resolution that take place outside the courtroom. It involves processes and techniques of conflict resolutions without litigations and empower parties to work together using a framework to amicably settle complex issues. The President, our dear President, needs peace and unity to function optimally. Therefore, anything that will give him peace is highly welcome. And that is what we're seeking to see in this our dear country. Looking at the political atmospheres in Nigeria today, there is a palpable tension in the land with a huge portions of it having tribal and religious undertones. This could only provide uncomfortable foundations for the current festering and growing pocket of banditry, militancy, and other type of unrest. Political parties and gladiators are already aligned and realign because they felt that the interests of their people, regions, or religions are not being adequately protected. I can tell you for free, though, that most of them are actually aligning for their own selfish interests and not for the interests of the masses. They are simply taking advantages of the current uncertainties in the land. Resolving some of these matters that are in court can only help in sanitizing the atmosphere, since it is a fact that early resolution of a dispute will immensely help in healing old wounds and in nation building. It will also help in this instance in promoting peace and unity. That is what we need ultimately in this country today. We need peace, we need unity, we need to work together. We have to look at ourselves as we're all one, we're all brothers from indivisible and indissoluble nations under one God. It will also help in the instance case in promoting peace and unity. I can draw your attention to Section 17 of the Federal High Court Act and Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, provided that the parties can explore alternative options for both civil and criminal matters when it comes to the situations of these natures in their countries. I, in my own opinion, believe that in getting last solution to our challenges facing in this country, we need to strictly adhere to what we call arbitration, mediation, and cancellations, where everybody will come together, put our opinions together, and work together as a one family. Like the treason matters involving Omoyele Sowore, leaders of revolutions, now movement, and the presidential candidate for 2023 elections, and also the terrorist cases against Bello Badejo, leaders of Miete Halla, Kaute Hori, both cases which the Nigerian government have withdrawn, which in my opinion is a very, very commendable for peace in this nation to reign. Because we believe that when two people are having disagreement in some certain areas of concept of life, the best option to do is to seek for peace, is to seek for unity, is to have what we call collective opinion of individual, and let us have a common basis for development of these dear nations. One thing that is certain is that it is never in public interest for cases to drag on interminably, especially such high-profile cases. They can only make a lot more long draw out the sentiments that lead to the institutions of the cases. Cases that last for years, sometimes even decades, can only surreptitiously or otherwise erode public confidence in the judicial system. Let us always remember that judiciary is generally regarded as the last hope of common man, which I personally believe. If we are to be perfectly honest, one of the major drawbacks is the snail pace at which some matters are disposed of in our courts in Nigeria today, notwithstanding all the effort that the justices have been put in place, which is very commendable. Since it is generally believed that justice delay is justice denied, this inordinate delay in our courts is the reason some people think twice before heading to the court to seek justice. Recall that Oliver Wendell Jr. once famously remarked that courts are court of law and not court of justice. So do you blame people when they appear skeptical of our law courts? I therefore urge President Tinubu, dear President of this country, to watch out for the little forces that spoil the vine while trying to hold Nigeria together as one indivisible nation. I advise that Nigerians should be patient with our dear President Tinubu Aswaju. He met up an unjust society, and it is not easy to arrange a system that are already collapsed before the advent of his administration. It is clear beyond shadow of doubt that our President, President Tinubu, inherited unjust society. And when you inherited unjust society, it became pretty difficult or very cumbersome for you to play a magic within a while to manage the situations and get a desired result. We as Nigerians, we have to be very patient with our dear president to look inward and see how he can rearrange unjust situations in met Nigerian ways. The problem of these countries are our few elites who put their interests on the first line charge instead of the interests of the masses. And that is why Nigeria is having snail speed movement in terms of development, in terms of all the challenges we are facing today. And we must have to tell ourselves the truth, and the truth must be told. Even if the leaders of the whole world today, let's say American president, Britain president, French president, France president, will come to Nigeria and be a president today, it cannot be easy for them to develop the way their countries are developing. Because in Nigeria, the scenario is different from what you operate and we always see in the West developed world. In the West developed worlds, there is what we call just society. And Ilkoparo clearly stated that you can't build peace in an unjust society. For you to build peace in an unjust society, it takes the grace of God, it takes the peace. It takes a while for it to happen. And how it happens, it has to be through arbitration, mediation, and cancellations, and putting up all the parties that are aggrieved together and find a lasting solution to the grievances of each party and make a directions as to how the future of the country is going to be governed in a peaceful, in a way that everybody that is a citizen of the countries will enjoy his right of a citizens as a citizens of their nation, Nigeria. Nigerian problems are the few elites, just like what I said, who put their interests on the first line charge. I advise the president to avoid them and exploit all the mechanisms to settle for peace of Nigeria rather than seeking for prosecution of a matter that can be settled through mediation, arbitrations, and cancellations, and giving a lasting solution to the problems and challenges of these dear nations. If Nigeria is peaceful, Tinubu will do well. That is my belief. I will advise the president to look inward to seek how to settle most of these pockets of agitations that have given rise to losses of lives and properties in Nigeria. Arbitration can bring rest to the East, in my own opinion and my understanding. Peace and rest to the wanton killing in the Middle Belt as well as other parts of the country. Simply put, the president should exploit all options available to succeed at this task, and his legacy as a unifier would have been solidly established and will last forever. My name is Mohammed Ndarani Mohammed, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Grand Patron of One Nation for Aswaju Support Group. I'm an APC chieftain, I'm an APC card-carrying member. And therefore, our president, I have hope in him that he will do well if we have peace. But what we need in Nigeria today is a situation where we have what we call national arbitration, cancellation, and mediation of so many issues that are challenging issues bothering these our nations. We are all brothers, we are all from same families, we are all from same ancestors, we are all from same aborigines. So I see no reasons why we have to deploy our energy on something that we can sit at round table and support our president for the development of their nations. So we must have to obligate ourselves from few elites who put their own interest on the first line charge as against the interest of the masses. Truth must be told. We have to come together as a one nation and support our president and ensure that peace reign in Nigeria so that all of us will enjoy our citizenships that God has given to us naturally as one individuals and indivisible nations as a country. So I so much thank you for coming here today to come and start celebrating Salah with us. And may Almighty Allah bless all of us, bless our president, bless Nigeria. So we should be patient with our president. He will do well if there is a peace in the country. So thank you very much for coming here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Mediation and cancellation.
So, my people, you guys have listened to what this man said. This is coming from an APC member, and this is what he has to say about concerning Tinubu and Nnamdi Kanu's court case. Now, he was saying that if peace reign in Nigeria, that is because of Tinubu is keeping Nnamdi Kanu in continuous detention. That's why peace is not in Nigeria. That if only he can release this man, then there will be peace, and he can do better in his office. He will do better in his regime. But if he's still holding this man in continuous detention, he cannot go any further. That was what this APC member was saying. Now, he went as far as saying that a crisis, that the fact that there are so many crises in Nigeria, and exactly what he said here is the truth. There's so many crises in Nigeria, and you keeping this man in continuous detention, that's him keeping Nnamdi Kanu in continuous detention, is just nothing but increasing the crisis in Nigeria. And now, if he wants to do better in office, if he wants to do better in his regime, he needs peace to do better. But if there's no peace, he cannot do better in his regime. So all he has to do is release Nnamdi Kanu, just like he said. He said that is the only best advice he's going to be giving this man. Now, many people have been saying that, telling Tinubu that he release Nnamdi Kanu. I remember when Tinubu even came to Enugu State, when he arrived in Enugu State, the Ohanes and Igbo was asking him that he should release Nnamdi Kanu. That is what he should do for Igbo people. As far as he has come to Igbo land, that's the best thing that they want him to do for Ndi Igbo. Now, and I recall, there's a time I recall that this same Tinubu, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, went to Anambra State, but then the governor of Anambra State never said anything about him releasing Nnamdi Kanu. And I'm now beginning to wonder, is it that some Southeast governors, true, are against Nnamdi Kanu? Because if this particular comment or message is coming from an APC member, just know that it's high time that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Yes, it's high time. All the things that Nnamdi Kanu is doing, everybody is seeing it. All the whole political parties in Nigeria are seeing it. Even the Awusas are aware that Nnamdi Kanu is a good man. He just wants the liberation of Nigeria. That is what he wants. So all of them are seeing what the good that this man is doing. Even if Nnamdi Kanu should have fewer enemies, I'm going to tell you that some people in the northern side, some people in APC love what the man is doing. They love what he's doing. But this is to tell you that for this man to come up and say something like this, it took him so much courage and boldness to say such a thing, because many people wouldn't want to say anything about Nnamdi Kanu just because they want some certain favors to themselves, because they just feel that if they talk about Nnamdi Kanu, something may really happen to them. But this man took so much courage and boldness to say such a thing without even fearing that he's an APC member. Like, he just summoned courage and said that, I asked Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu. This to show you that everybody knows that this man wants the liberation of Nigeria. Now, if you guys remember, he also went as far as talking about the people who are doing the freedom agitators in Nigeria. He called Showore, called Sondibo, and now he went as far as saying, he also called Metu Alali. Now, those people now has been released by Tinubu. Metu Alali was released by Tinubu. All those people have been released. Now, he went as far as saying that if they could release all those people, then Nnamdi Kanu's own case is not different. There's no different case between his own. Even when they were doing investigation in his house, they never found him with any gun. So let me say his case is even far different from other people. Yes, his case is far different from other people. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu still keeps on keeping him in continuous detention, just know that this country is not going to move forward. This is not the first time I'm hearing this thing from people. I've been hearing it from different people, that the continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu is why Nigeria is not moving forward. But people don't want to look at it in that aspect. The continuous detention of this man is the reason why Nigeria is not moving forward. Now, you guys have seen what an APC member has to say, saying that the reason why there's no peace in Nigeria and the reason why Tinubu cannot perform well in his office is because this man is in continuous detention, that if they release him, you find out that things are going to be good in Nigeria again. No, things are going to bounce back. You find out that Nigeria is going to start growing again. But people have not yet realized it. They have not realized that this man, Martin and Kanu Constituency Station, is what is holding the progress of Nigeria. They have not tried to look into the fact that, okay, let's release this man, let's see what's going to happen in Nigeria. Just like everybody have been lamenting that Martin Nnamdi Kanu is our savior, he's our savior. They tried to release him. Let's see what is going to happen. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in this kind of quest that he doesn't want to release this man. All he wants to do is that he feels that this man is a threat to his regime. That's one thing with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He feels that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a threat to his regime. And you guys already know who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is. This is not the first time he has started talking about the things that the politicians are doing in Nigeria. He exposes everybody, down from Wike, down from the Southeast governors. Like, he exposes everybody in Nigeria, all their evil plans. He holds them in their palms. He knows all their plans. So I think this is the reason why he's still in continuous detention. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu sees this man as a big threat to his regime. That's why you see he was keeping him in detention. Then I remember there was a time that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's brother came out and was telling the public that there was a time that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu wanted to come into office, that there was a time that Bola and the son, the son of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he told Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's brother to help him talk to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that please, that before they start this election, that please, the IPOB people should not disturb or cause havoc. That if the father becomes the president of Nigeria, that is going to make sure that he release his brother Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And according to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's brother said, he said he had to adhere to the instructions, and on that day during the election of 2023, there was no havoc, there was no anything, the IPOB did not cause anything. Now, after the father has become the president of Nigeria, he still does not want to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And now this is when the brother was not saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his son just used them, and his son Seyi Tinubu just used their head, thereby giving them fake promises that up to now the father has been, this is the 2 years of the father in tenure, and nothing has been done about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So that's why I told you guys that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his son Seyi Tinubu, they see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a big threat. That is the reason why you see his release is always difficult for them. To release him is always difficult for them, because I know that the only person who has the power to release this man is the president of Nigeria. But why is it taking so much time? Or what do people tell him about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? What do people tell him? What did they tell him about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? So this to show you that they all know that this man has their information at hand, and this man has the power to mar them. That is why you see they are trying to keep him in continuous detention. They don't want, in fact, they don't want him to be out at all, because they know that once this man gets out of custody today, it's over for them. This to show you what is happening in Nigeria. So you can see what the APC member was saying, that the killings going on in Nigeria has become too much. The crisis, we keep on hearing this on a daily basis, but I think that it's high time to release these freedom agitators and release them, so that Nigeria will be in peace. That without peace in a country, there's no, you can't go anywhere in Nigeria without peace in the country. That's one thing that people don't know. Without peace in the country, you can't go anywhere. And that's why you see Nigeria is too stagnant to now. People have not checked. People have not yet tried to understand that before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was being kidnapped and arrested and put in the continuous detention of the DSS, have they ever wondered that when he was not yet arrested, things were better? But when immediately he was arrested, things became worse. Like, crisis stopped on a daily basis. Like, if crisis was like, let me say, 10%, the thing increased to like 100%. That's one thing that Nigerians have never asked. Anyway, guys, I want you guys to just listen to this interview with this man, where he was talking about the UK government. That I think that the UK government are also people who are advising Tinubu not to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, they are not even in support of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So, guys, take a look at this interview, and I'll be right back.
The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has accused the United Kingdom government of hypocrisy and colonial bias for supporting Morocco's autonomy plan for Western Sahara while ignoring Biafra's self-determination efforts. IPOB questioned why the UK deems the Western Sahara's autonomy as viable while repressing Biafra's movement. IPOB traced the UK's hostility towards Biafra to the Nigerian Biafra war era, accusing the British government of complicity in mass civilian deaths. The group stated that Buhari's actions were driven by oil interests and a desire to preserve its colonial legacy. IPOB called on the UK to end its hypocritical double standards and recognize Biafra's right to self-determination. The group also urged the United Nations and African Union to investigate the UK's role in repressing the Biafran movement while promoting autonomy elsewhere. All right, today I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. Here in the studio we have Mr. Peter Nasike. Mr. Nasike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Of course, joining us virtually is Eda Lekia Christian. He is a public affairs analyst, social justice crusader, and president of the Niger Delta Coalition Against Violence. We understand that Eda Lekia is not here with us, but let's start out with Mr. Nasike, taking a look at this situation. Isn't the UK's endorsement of autonomy for Western Sahara while ignoring Biafra's claim a blatant case of geopolitical hypocrisy rooted in oil interests and colonial guilt?
Well, times differ.
Okay.
We cannot 60s and 20s are not the same thing. Right now, there's more enlightenment, there's more exposure. But the policy and programs of every country in the world, apart from Africa, is governed by interest. Understand me? It is governed by interest, not humanitarian. Because after the first military coup, which killed Aguirosi, Gowon has wanted his people to move out of the country. That is, Gowon and the North wanted that to separate from Nigeria on their own. So then, what they were shouting was Araba, meaning secession. They were already on their own to leave Nigeria and stay on their own. It was the British government that told them, now you have power. Don't run, stay and take authority. So it was the British government that gave the North, that's the courage that to stay in the country, because they were scared. Understand? Then, but Ojukwu on his own part, I can say, because he was a patriot. He has every reason to have won this war. Understand me? Because Russia was ready to come to the aid of Biafra. Understand? So all that Ojukwu would have done is just that to sign a 40-year, 50-year agreement with Russia. And Russia will fight on behalf of Biafra. But Ojukwu, I will use that was stubborn. Ojukwu was stubborn. Ojukwu said no to all the proposals, because their own interest was also oil, what they would gain. The same thing with Britain, what they would gain. Understand me? So Ojukwu refused, and they decided that to go that to war alone. Understand me? Now, Britain was able that to run France and other Western powers for Nigeria. If we just left between Nigerian soldiers and Biafran soldiers, there will have been no way Biafran soldiers will have defeated the Biafran army. So it was the British government that that came to their aid with the France and other Western powers. That was the only reason why Biafra was defeated, and it took them more than 3 years for them to do it. But if Ojukwu had signed an agreement with Russia, there would have been no way they would have defeated Biafra, because Biafra was already refining crude oil on their own. They were already refining jet oil on their own. They were already building assault rifles and so on and so forth. Understand me? Biafra had their own radio developed internally. So it was Ojukwu's patriotism, understand me, and again the sabotage of the help of the British government that made Biafra to be defeated. And still then, this war has not ended. Because in 1959, British government rigged our election, rigged our census in favor of the North. Until today, they are still supporting the northern part of the country. Reason? Because they see the northern people as people that they can easily manipulate. British government see the northern part of the country as people that they can easily manipulate, that they can easily take advantage of. They saw the people in the south as very wise and courageous and so on and so forth. So their direct rule worked in the north, because they have a kind of a central system of government where they respected their MAS. Understand? But in the south, especially in the southeast, they don't have a strong traditional institutions. That's why they have to appoint warrant chiefs in the southeast or in eastern Nigeria. So it is easy to rule somebody who has no mind of his own. You give him mind. That's somebody who has a mind of his own. So eastern and south mind of their own. It's not easy to control them. So that's why the North is favoring the British government is favoring the northern part of the country.
Well, with this recent call of IPOB, is it that they don't understand or have the information you have in terms of the rich history on how all of this have played out during the Civil War? Because if they are waiting for this same United Kingdom to recognize Biafra now, happen. Is it ever going to happen?
Because they are already struggling on their own.
Are you talking about Britain?
Britain is already struggling on their own, and that's why they moved out of EU. Understand me?
Brexit.
So in Europe, or the center is no more holding, and someone who is struggling.
So guys, you guys have listened to what people really think are actually feeding Tinubu with lies. So people are saying that even the UK government are in support of the fact that Tinubu doesn't want to release him as Nnamdi Kanu, because many Nigerians have been thinking that if UK government come into the matter of Biafra, we're going to have Biafra. But it doesn't seem so. You can hear what this man said. It's just as if the UK governments are saying supporting the Northerners. That's why you see Biafra has not yet been given to the Igbo people, because many people are saying that it's only UK government that have the power to even say, okay, let there be Biafra, let Biafra come to pass. even though Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not ready to give us Biafra. They said that it's only the UK government that have the power to do so. But looking at what is going on, you can hear from what this man said in his interview, that even the UK government we are putting our trust in, they are also involved in supporting the Northerners, supporting Tinubu's action of not releasing Nnamdi Kanu. That is why you see the Igbo people have not gotten Biafra to today, that they are also trying that, because we've seen many things, rumors, allegedly, they're saying that even the UK government I've seen supporting and weaponizing the Fulani terrorists. We've seen many rumors and people have been saying allegedly that they are saying giving weapons and weaponizing these Fulani terrorists. That's why you see, if the UK government can be doing such a thing, do you think they would want Biafra to come to pass? Do you think? So you see, the fact that many people have already put in their whole saying it is the UK government that can give us Biafra, whether Tinubu like it or not, you guys can see that even the UK government are seen doing more than themselves. The UK government are seen weaponizing the Fulani terrorists, even telling themselves that they support the Northerners. So, like, how possible is it that we will not gain Biafra if something like this is happening? So, guys, you can see what is really happening here. A lot of things are going on in Nigeria, and many people have started saying that the only way out is by releasing Nnamdi Kanu. He is only the savior of Igbo. This many people have been praying about his release. They've been praying about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, but they have forgotten that it's only Nigeria that have the power to release Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, because first of all, our Southeast governors are not saying anything about it. These people are just so silent about what is going on in about Nnamdi Kanu's case. They're so silent. Like, if we have someone who is seen talking to Bola Ahmed Tinubu about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, you find that in no time he will be released. But if you look at the situation on ground now, you'll find that nobody is talking to him about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Like, when I mean someone talking to him, a closest person to him, nobody is talking to him. Okay, then if they now find out that, okay, even the Southeast governors, they are even reluctant, so why are we not going to release him? Then the say Tinubu and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, seeing how reluctant the Southeast governors are on the release of Nnamdi Kanu, they themselves will still be reluctant on releasing him. So you see, many people have been saying that the Southeast governor needs to put more interest, thereby telling Bola Ahmed Tinubu to release their brother. Maybe it's because of the way reluctant they are. That's why you see the Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not even saying anything about it. For their mind now, they'll say that if their own brothers can be this reluctant, cannot be saying anything about the release of their own brother, is it not them that is a Yoruba person? Is it not them that is an Oduduwa nation that will not come and release him? If their own brothers cannot even talk about his release. And it's so bad that for some time now that this man has been in constant detention ever since he has been detained by IPOB. Sorry, ever since he has been detained by DSS, we've not seen the Southeast governors say anything about it. And I think these are some things that many people are considering and looking into, that since the Southeast governors, their own brothers, are not saying anything about his release, that means they'll be feeling that what's the essence of releasing him, since their own brothers cannot do anything about it. So I think it's high time that the Southeast governor should start doing something about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Many people have been saying it. Many people have been saying it, that they should start talking, they should start writing petition to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in order to release Nnamdi Kanu. Even if that's the only thing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to do for us, we are happy that he releases our own brother. Anybody who is not agitating for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu, that person is a bad person. That person is evil. Like Nnamdi Kanu will tell you that my enemies, if you are against me, that means that if you are against me, that means God will be against you. That's what Nnamdi Kanu said. So guys, I want you guys to just listen to this broadcast of what he really said, and I'll be right back.
When Buhari started this his agenda, Nnamdi Kanu was the first person that pointed it out. He was the first person that told Nigerians, had alerted Nigerians to what is coming. Nobody believed him until eventually Buhari now exposed himself, and we started seeing Nigerians now providing their own security, from Amateku to Ebubago that never was in Imo State and all the rest of them. It was under Buhari's word that you saw all these terrorists. Nnamdi Kanu alerted us. Go and check. It was this revelation that angered Buhari. That was why he started his ESN in the southeast to protect the Igbos. So it was not easy because the first place of call would have been in the southeast. That Buhari felt that we are too stubborn, that he's going to deal with us another. Nnamdi Kanu took preemptive steps to protect the Igbos in the southeast. So this thing angered Buhari because they were not easy to penetrate as they planned. That was why they put him in Kula and they used them. Ask yourself, what is that thing that is so special in him?
But evil will come back to haunt you. All of you never knew that IPOB and this Biafra movement was for your liberation. Some of you saw maybe the oil and gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we'll have access to oil and gas. In the process of having your eyes fixated on oil and gas, your forest is gone. Do you understand it? There is nothing more precious in life than freedom. Freedom is very important. And I need you to understand this very morning. Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Where are those Hausa people today? Do you see them anymore? They're saying we are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Do you see them again today? Do you see them? I'm asking you. No, because Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. Look at what they're doing in the East. In the East, they come to the East, they will tell you, oh, you want to be the president or vice? Yeah. They say, give us land for Ruga. They give them land. I saw Jus Okadu did that law Banta. They've taken it over in forever and ever. Give us land in your state. Purpose of them are prove to us that you are stood. Give us land in Olo. Purpose of them will give them land in Olo. We can go and kill people in Obibo. We can kill for them. How many Fulani governors are prepared to kill bandits? I didn't say normal people. I'm talking about armed, dangerous bandits. How many Fulani governors? Go and read your newspapers, you will see it there. Fulani governors are negotiating with them, giving them arms, giving them vehicles, making sure that their life is no longer a misery. But see, they come down to the south. They tell you, give us land for Ruga. Go and kill your people to prove to us that you're one Nigerian. That was why Obi was talking rubbish. Was yesterday or 2 days ago. Supported by the BBC. The problem you people have in Nigeria is this. Your journalists, you see people, Punch newspaper, Tribune, Vanguard, and Nation, they are your second worst enemies. I'm telling you the truth. They can never ever be objective in their reportage. Never ever ever. That's why all of you are suffering. But you don't know it. They were the same people used to scuttle the NSAS protest. Of course, some of you went about looking for Indomie in warehouses. Typical black people. Any revolution that is coming now, you must stand very firm. They'll say, oh, you're Igbo. Oh, you're Yoruba. Oh, you're from Urobo. Don't join them. It's our turn in 2023. If you do this, you will scuttle our chances of becoming the president in 2023. Ask yourself, all of them that have been president from time immemorial, what benefit has it brought to you as a human being? Absolutely nothing. So you have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. You look at them now, how they have now descended on Yoruba people, asking them to concede, give us your forest, we must graze, we must do this, we must do that. And slowly before your eyes, they are giving in, they are capitulating, they are allowing them to get, if you don't give it to us, Tinubu will not be president in 2023. Tinubu won't be the president. That's what I'm saying to you. And foolishly you will agree and hand over your land to them. And once they take your land over from you, look at Hausa. Because there is a saying where we come from. If you want to know what your life is going to become in the future, look at Hausa people. If you want to understand or appreciate, I will say, the life that you are about to bequeath to your children and grandchildren, look at Hausa people. Is there any Hausa governor today? Is there any Hausa emir? Is there land though? Katsina is Hausa land. Kanu is Hausa land. Sokoto is Hausa land. The Hausa people own it, indigenous to those areas. I'm asking you this question. Is there any Hausa man who's an emir in the north? The answer is no. Something's going to happen to you. If you don't rise up now to break, I'm not even asking people to break this rule. Demand for what rightfully belongs to you, your freedom. The freedom to decide. The freedom to write a constitution if you prefer. The freedom to live with whoever you want to live with. That is what we're asking for. But most people misunderstood what we're.
Nnamdi Kanu has not done anything that other people from other zones have not done. We know about Sunday Igbo of the Yoruba nation agitator. We know of the Boko Haram people that say they want a different country where Western education is an abomination. These people have been released. Not just that they have been released. In the case of Boko Haram, they've been re-assimilated to the society, given plum jobs, even in our military. They've been given money and been resuscitated, reconciled, and rehabilitated. Why is Nnamdi Kanu's case different? There is an ethnic and some unnecessary bias that is keeping that man in jail. The government should be wise enough to release this man. You can use the Julian Assange option. If you don't want to say you are losing face, you can release him conditionally. You can release him unconditionally. As a lawyer, I've watched the legal issues very clearly. And I saw that even in the courts, from the High Court to the Supreme Court, there are discordant tones amongst them. Even in the issue of bail, some of the tier of the courts are granted him bail. Even in the issue of the charges, some tier of the court had quashed all the charges. So you can see that the government has a lot of places it can stand to release the young man and bring peace to the southeast. He is now more like a political prisoner. I tell you something, the longer Nnamdi Kanu is in prison, the taller he becomes and the shorter the government becomes. They should take the intelligent way out of this and release him like they did to other people. Rehabilitate him and reconcile him as they are reconciling Southeast completely to the nation.
Hi, I'm your buddy, Dr. John Isebuhi. I want everyone to listen very well. Without the Igbos, Nigeria is going nowhere. If you have empirical evidence that is stronger or better than what I want to say, please present it. After the Civil War, I learned that each Igbo man was given 20 pounds. Now I want to ask you a question. When you go to Igbo land, is it 20 pounds worth of houses or architectural designs that you see there? So when you are against people, you need to ask yourself a question. Are these the people that can be defeated? Nigeria has set up a system, a systemic that works against tribes that they feel are not big enough, or tribes that can reinvent or bring a level of innovation to the ecosystem of the nation. And one of those tribes is the Igbo tribe. Why is Kanu still in jail? Because the system wants him to be in jail. Some people feel this guy, if we leave him, he's going to cost us the free money that we get from the system. Now that you have heard Kanu and you have heard Simeon Ekpa, has insecurity abated? The answer is no. Now look at the last JAMB exam. A whole tribe, the 5 states, they said it was a computer glitch. Ask me which tribe will take that. I'm from Edo State. And if that had happened to Edo State, I will speak out. But as a child of God, anywhere there is injustice, it behoves on me to come out and speak the truth. Why will you just a whole tribe? You said to the computer glitch, Nigeria, this wickedness too much. What you guys have to understand is this. God is always on the side of the oppressed. And until Nigeria learn to integrate the Igbos, we are going nowhere. I have done statistics of all the black tribes in the world. Listen to me. If there is one tribe that would drive the revival or the economic revival of the black race, it is the Igbo man. Take them anywhere, they succeed. In the deepest of villages in Nigeria, they succeed. Does that not tell you something that these are not people you should keep oppressing? Almost the youngest billionaires in Nigeria, they are Igbos. The richest tribe in Nigeria are the Igbos. I don't care what anybody say. I mean, the data is here. Most of the billionaires in other tribes, they are elders, 60s in their 70s. Look at Igbo, young boys, what they are doing. And we think we can just cut them off. We are making our journey to freedom very difficult. And I want to tell Nigeria, find a way to integrate the Igbos. I know the Igbos, they have their problems because they easily said themselves, you give any of the money, some of them, they said their brothers. But let me tell you, Igbos, if you know who you are, you will not bow. There is something unique about you guys. I doff my heart for you guys because what you guys have passed through, you are still thriving. No tribe will pass through. Every tribe in Nigeria fight for positions. But they cut you guys out of political platforms. But yet, you are able to reinvent yourself. If you know who you are, you know that God has given you the scepter to liberate the black man out of the quagmire of economic doctrine. Please, Igbo man, stop loving money and start loving yourself. Because what is in your hand is not in the hand of any tribe. I stand to be corrected. God bless you.
So my people, I'm sure you guys have listened to what this man said, but honestly, everybody has been saying this, not only this man that has been saying it. People are saying that this country called Nigeria is not going to move forward until they release Nnamdi Kanu. People went as far as saying that Igbo people are the only people that have the right, like the power, to make sure that Nigeria starts working again. Let's take for instance, nothing is working in this country, nothing is moving forward. But imagine if Nnamdi Kanu is released, you find out that things are going to change in this country. Many people have been saying Igbo people are successful, they are well. Even if Igbo people say they want to separate today, you find out that they will still be well. These people are so indigenous, like they're so hardworking, they're so industrious. That's like Igbo people, like you cannot compare Igbo with any other tribe. So that's why you see, I've heard series of where Yoruba people, Hausa people are coming out to say that Igbo people are the best, that they are the only ones that are holding this country tight and firm. Even an APC member, like this is the first time I think I'm just hearing that an APC person is saying, asking Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu. I'm telling you guys the honest truth. An APC member is saying that they should release telling Tinubu that the best advice he is going to give him is to release Nnamdi Kanu. That if he doesn't release Nnamdi Kanu, his regime, he will not have peace in his regime. That's what he's saying. That there will be a lot of crises, and we've already had a lot of crises. Why don't you release this man? This is what the message that this APC member was saying, giving to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That the reason why, that if he wants peace in his regime, if he wants peace in his office, he should just go ahead and release Nnamdi Kanu. That was the message he was telling Tinubu. So guys, just listen to what he had to say about what he told. I want to play this video for people who did not see what this man said. He said he was telling Tinubu to go and release Nnamdi Kanu if only he wants peace. So guys, take a look at this video and I'll be right back.
Mohammed, senior advocate of Nigeria. I'm also a grand patron, One Nation Aswaju Support Group of Nigeria. let me start by saying my advice to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our dear President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, having watched what is happening in Nigeria in recent times, I felt the urge as a patriotic Nigerian to plead with the federal government to settle Nnamdi Kanu and other agitators matters out of court by setting up a formidable national committee of arbitration. In my opinion, the court may not be the solution of the above matter if lasting peace is to reign in the nation. Bringing this matter to the round table for intensive negotiation surely would engender the peace, harmony, and unity in diversity that we all have consistently craved. In a country with various distinct ethnicities like Nigeria, it is and ought to be an all-pervading preoccupation of everyone to seek ways of encouraging those things that will bring us closer together as a nation. This is even more so in the existing atmosphere where there is a mutual suspicions and widespread crisis of marginalization. Our dear President Bola Tinubu should therefore consider alternative dispute resolution mechanisms like arbitrations, cancellations, and mediation in some of these cases concerning our agitators in the country. ADR refer to any method of conflict resolution that take place outside the courtroom. It involves processes and techniques of conflict resolutions without litigations and empower parties to work together using a framework to amicably settle complex issues. Our dear President needs peace and unity to function optimally. Therefore, anything that will give him peace is highly welcome. And that is what we're seeking to see in this our dear country. Looking at the political atmospheres in Nigeria today, there is a palpable tension in the land with a huge portions of it having tribal and religious undertones. This could only provide uncomfortable foundations for the current festering and growing pocket of banditry, militancy, and other type of unrest. Political parties and gladiators are already aligned and realigned because they felt that the interests of their people, regions, or religions are not being adequately protected. I can tell you for free, though, that most of them are actually aligned for their own selfish interests and not for the interests of the masses. They are simply taking advantages of the current uncertainties in the land. Resolving some of these matters that are in court can only help in sanitizing the atmosphere, since it is a fact that early resolution of a dispute will immensely help in healing old wounds and in nation building. It will also help in this instance in promoting peace and unity. That is what we need ultimately in this country today. We need peace, we need unity, we need to work together. We have to look at ourselves as we're all one, we're all brothers from indivisible and indissoluble nations under one God. It will also help in the instance case in promoting peace and unity. I can draw your attention to Section 17 of Federal Court Act and Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, provided that the parties can explore alternative options for both civil and criminal matters when it comes to the situations of these natures in our dear countries. I, in my own opinion, believe that in getting last solution to our challenges facing in this country, we need to strictly adhere to what we call arbitration, mediation, and cancellations, where everybody will come together, put our opinions together, and work together as a one family. Like the treason matters involving Omoyele Sowore, leaders of revolutions, now movement, and the presidential candidate for 2023 elections, and also the terrorist cases against Bello Badejo, leaders of Miete Halla, Kaute Hori, both cases which the Nigerian government have withdrawn, which in my opinion is a very, very commendable for peace in this nation to reign. Because we believe that when two people are having disagreement in some certain areas of concept of life, the best option to do is to seek for peace, is to seek for unity, is to have what we call collective opinion of individual, and let us have a common basis for development of these dear nations. One thing that is certain is that it is never in public interest for cases to drag on interminably, especially such high-profile cases. They can only make a lot more long draw out the sentiments that lead to the institutions of the cases. Cases that last for years, sometimes even decades, can only surreptitiously or otherwise erode public confidence in the judicial system. Let us always remember that judiciary is generally regarded as the last hope of common man, which I personally believe. If we are to be perfectly honest, one of the major drawbacks is the snail pace at which some matters are disposed of in our courts in Nigeria today, notwithstanding all the effort that the justices have been put in place, which is very commendable. Since it is generally believed that justice delay is justice denied, this inordinate delay in our courts is the reason some people think twice before heading to the court to seek justice. Recall that Oliver Wendell Jr. once famously remarked that courts are court of law and not court of justice. So do you blame people when they appear skeptical of our law courts? I therefore urge President Tinubu, dear President of this country, to watch out for the little forces that spoil the vine while trying to hold Nigeria together as one indivisible nation. I advise that Nigerians should be patient with our dear President Tinubu Aswaju. He met up an unjust society, and it is not easy to arrange a system that already collapsed before the advent of his administration. It is clear beyond shadow of doubt that our President, President Tinubu, inherited unjust society. And when you inherited unjust society, it became pretty.
So my people, you guys have listened to what this man said to Tinubu, that if he does not release Nnamdi Kanu, there will not be peace in Nigeria, and also as well as he's not going to rule very well in his regime. So if he releases Nnamdi Kanu, definitely he's going to rule well in his regime. So guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below, and also if you know you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share, and also turn on the notification button to get all the latest news in this channel. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next live section.